The Season 6 roadmap for Call of Duty is out, and in this video I'm going to break down every interesting thing that's coming out next Wednesday. So we've got Purgatory on Rebirth. No, just kidding. There is more than that, but it does feel a little bit like this is a very light season for content, and you'll see what I mean as I go on. This is pretty normal. Like, normally Season 6 is lighter than the other seasons because obviously the main new game comes out. So we're getting Black Ops 6 kind of just after the mid-season update for Season 6. So I wouldn't expect anything too great, but there's a few things that are worth talking about, so let's get stuck in. First of all, in multiplayer, let's start with multiplayer, there's a bunch of new maps. So there's actually 7 new maps coming in Season 6, which sounds pretty awesome, to be honest. So the first one is Drive-Thru, and this is apparently a small map. It's kind of interesting that we've just had the Black Ops 6 beta where all of the maps were pretty small 6v6 maps, and then they brought out the final map for Modern Warfare 3, and it's another small map. You'd almost think if they were planning it, they'd want to have a larger map to give a little bit of contrast. But anyway, it's a smaller map. It's set around some kind of clown-themed restaurant. Apparently there's a carousel in there. That sounds kind of cool. It's going for the whole creepy Halloween vibe that a lot of this stuff is. Like, Season 6 is the haunting season traditionally in Call of Duty. And although they can't do the haunting for Halloween because that's the first week that Black Ops 6 is out, they're still going to start it now, and like everything is kind of a little bit spooky themed. Then we have Mad Cow, and this is a variant of, I think it was called Meat, which is one of the DLC maps, and it's a new version of that just looks a little bit creepier. There's kind of some creepy paintings on the walls, there's some dark lighting, the floor's covered in water. I don't think it's going to be that different. I mean, it's a variant map, so what do you really expect? And then we have Arena Shipment. So Arena Shipment is a variant of Shipment, and there's basically like a training thing set up, but it's actually also got a kind of arena feel around it. So there's spectator stands that are oddly filled with targets. I'm not really sure why, but it's all sort of green and orange and grey. It almost looks like sort of a paintball map or something like that. So that's just another way to play Shipment, basically. Another different take on the idea of Shipment. Then after that, we have Stay High, which is a variant of Shipment, and this one's kind of based on the Get High kind of puzzle maps that we had before, you know, those running, climbing maps that we had. There's a version of Shipment that looks like that, so it's all neon colors and grids and things like that. And Stay High, get this, it's a joke. It's a drug reference. Call of Duty is truly breaking new ground here. Then after Stay High, we also have Bitment. So this is like an 8-bit, well, 3D 8-bit take on Shipment. So it's a Shipment variant, but it looks a little bit like, you know, a sort of voxel game. It looks a bit like Teardown, weirdly, but without the destruction and stuff, I think. So it really just looks like Shipment, but with sort of older style or indie style graphics, I guess. Then there's a map called Ghost Ship, and this is a variant of Shipment. And it's a spooky variant of Shipment, so there's some lanterns and some blood around and some grass on the floor, but still shipping containers. There's some kind of occult type sort of, I don't know, scrawlings on the wall on the floor. So I guess that could be kind of exciting. And then for the final new map that we're going to be getting in Season 6, we've got Sunny Shipment, which is a variant of Shipment. So we've got 5 variants of Shipment in Season 6, along with 1 variant of Meat, which was another map from, you know, this game, and then 1 new map. I've been saying for a little while that Call of Duty are maybe struggling for new content, or it seems like maybe they're trying to see what they could get away with, like the bare minimum they could get away with, and still call it a full season's worth of content. But this is kind of taking the piss a little bit. I mean, this variant, Sunny Shipment, is literally just Shipment but sunny. That's it. Like, it looks like they've just changed the lighting. So it's a brightly coloured Shipment, kind of. I mean, it's still a bit pastel-y, so it's not actually that vibrant. It doesn't look like a Black Ops map, for example. But that's kind of it. And then when they talk about the modes that are coming out, we've got Horde Point, which is a mode from World War II. So it's basically like Hard Point, but when you're on the hard point, there's zombies attacking you. from what I remember of playing Hold Point before, the zombies don't really get in the way that much. They're super easy to deal with. Then we've got Arcade. That's a returning game mode. It's one that we've had before where you just get some special abilities and special guns and things like that. Then we're getting Mutation, which is a game mode that we've had before. So that's coming back where people have these different mutations. There's 4 unique classes, so you can leap, or you can be a beast, which is like half dog, or you can fire sludge, or you can be a camouflaged one. And we're getting Infected, which is a mode that we've already had before in this game, like the last 2. So this is back with a haunting twist as players attempt to dispatch the living with their claws and throwing knives. Now, forgive me if I'm wrong, but wasn't that always kind of what Infected was? I don't think Infected needs a haunting twist because it was already about zombies attacking someone. So that seems a little bit weird to me. But that's everything that's coming to multiplayer, or at least that's all the stuff that's coming just to multiplayer. So you're getting 1 new map, and it's exciting that we're getting a new map. Then you're getting a variation of Meat, and then 5 variations of Shipment. 1 mode that's coming back from World War II, which was probably one of the worst received Call of Duties for quite a long time. Although I think it did get better with the DLC that came out later. I don't know, I stopped playing it quite early. And then you've got another set of modes 3 other modes that we've already had in this game, but they've made it onto the blog for Season 6 as, hey, look, we're bringing back the thing that you had a few months ago and then we arbitrarily took away. And this seems to be kind of how Call of Duty works lately, is they give us something and then they take it away, and then a little while later they say, hey, remember that thing you liked that we took away for no reason? You can have it back now. And that seems really odd to me. Like, that seems utterly bizarre, but that's what they're doing, so fair enough, I guess. There's a bunch of stuff about ranked intel which I'm not so interested in, and then let's talk about Warzone. So Warzone, we're getting a new map variant of Rebirth. So this is a map that they took away and then gave us back, and now we're getting a variant of it instead of a new map. But that's where the haunting event is really going to be taking place. So there's a new version of Rebirth where there's some creepy neon lighting. There's like green and pink lighting, because apparently that's scary nowadays. The ocean is red, so that's creepy, and it's a little bit darker, I guess, but not really dark because there's still a bright sun for some reason. Apparently there's some foul anomalies on the walls. I'm not really sure what that's going to be, and some weird stuff going on at Lighthouse. So fair enough, I guess. They've also changed Vondel, and so they've just given us the night version of Vondel back, which I'm pretty sure we had last year at Halloween. So that's another thing that they just took away, but we're going to get it back, and there'll be some zombies and stuff running around, I guess, which is cool. Then there's a new mode, and this is the one thing in Season 6 that I can legitimately be kind of excited about. I'm confused about it because it looks really weird, but I'm excited about it too. So, Purgatory. Purgatory is described as a new squad-based limited time mode taking place on the Hellspawn variant of Rebirth, featuring a sandbox setting where squads can battle and complete objectives at their own pace. So this is a bit weird. It's not a battle royale where like the game builds up to the climax of the last few teams fighting against each other. Sounds like you have infinite respawns, you can drop into this map, and you can go around and complete objectives while fighting other players, and just stay there for as long as you want. So it's quite different for Call of Duty, weirdly. Like, maybe it'll feel a little bit like DMZ, like going around and doing missions on a map, but then it's got the respawns and no chance of losing stuff. I don't really know what this is going to be like, but anyway, it's something new, so I should be excited for that. There are power-ups, and they're just the power-ups from arcade mode, and there's some special weapon blueprints as well, but that's all things that we've had before, which is a shame. There's portals, apparently, that will take you to other parts of the map. And I'm not joking about this, I'm not making this up, this is legitimately in a blog, there's Shipment on it, in case the 5 variants of Shipment we're getting aren't enough. There's also Shipment on Rebirth now, and apparently it's going to fly over the island on a drivable platform. So you're going to be able to drive Shipment around. And apparently you can access it via portal, parachute, or helicopter. You're going to be able to drive an entire map around over the top of Rebirth. That sounds really, really bizarre. I kind of just want to see it, to be honest. I kind of want to know what's going on. Then also, very oddly, there's safe zones. So apparently there's translucent domes around some parts of the map where you can go in there and then you can do things like adjusting your loadout and stuff like that, or commend other players, it says, to earn XP and meet new friends. So you'll be able to go on the map, try and meet people, I guess, in these safe zones, then go and do objectives together. I don't really understand what's going on in this, but apparently that's a thing. You also get a torment level, which as you kill enemies, you'll raise your torment level, which gives you more XP per elimination, but it also makes you more visible to other players on the minimap. And I'm guessing when you die, it'll reset your torment level. There's going to be the scare packages, which we've seen in the haunting events for the last few years, where, you know, you open up a care package or a box, a loot box, and there's a chance there'll be a jump scare for you. And there's also this thing, it sounds really weird as well, a terrible. So it says there's these terribles that spawn around the map and are found in scare packages too. You can shoot them, melee them, or run into them to send them flying, and it instantly eliminates any operator it hits. Now, so this sounds a little bit strange maybe, but it sounds to me like maybe they made this ready for like the football competition that was happening earlier in the year, and maybe it wasn't ready for then, so now they've decided to put it in as a mechanic in this, because it sounds really weird. It's not something I normally think of Halloween, of like, oh, you know, having balls that you can punch and then they fly into enemies and kill them. That seems like such an odd mechanic. Whereas when they did that whole football themed thing and they had, you know, football themed skins and stuff like that, that would have made a lot more sense back then. So that's kind of what I think happened. But anyway, it doesn't really matter now. There's going to be some balls flying around, so good. And then Zombie Royale is coming back. So on Rebirth and on Vondel, you'll be able to play Zombie Royale. You know, it's the same thing we've had in the Haunting for ages, where if you die, you come back as a zombie, and if you can manage to pick up a couple of vials from dead enemies, then you get to come back as a player. That's the new sort of respawn mechanic. It doesn't sound like anything's different at all for that. And that's it for Warzone. And that's kind of disappointing for a lot of people, that this is yet another season where we're not really getting anything for the big map. You know, I know we had Superstore a while ago, but literally the day after Superstore launched, we landed there and nobody else was there. Everyone seemed to not care about that a day after it launched. So yeah, I feel like big map's been a bit neglected this year, maybe. And then there's some stuff about Warzone Mobile, which I don't care about at all. And then there's obviously the connected content, so the stuff that crosses over. So this is where we get stuff that's going to affect everyone. There's a new gun, but it's a battle rifle. I'm going to challenge you right now. Okay, viewer, pay attention. Name all the battle rifles that are in Modern Warfare 3. Go on. See how many you can name. Off the top of your head, don't look it up or anything. Think how many battle rifles you can name right now. I'm willing to bet a lot of you got to maybe 2, maybe even just 1. I can think of 1 straight away because I used it earlier today. But it's pretty rare that people use battle rifles. Like, the battle rifles fall in this weird position where they're not as strong as a sniper rifle. They're meant to be like a long-range, more accurate assault rifle. But we've got things like the STG that are super accurate and super long-range anyway. So there's not really any point in using them. And this is saying it's slow-firing and hard-hitting. Guns like that don't tend to do very well in Call of Duty, especially in Warzone. So I'm guessing this will be a gun that nobody will use. I'm guessing people will still just keep on using the STG instead of it, which is kind of a shame. And then there's a new light machine gun, which apparently is designed to be used at short to medium range, which is where everybody uses SMGs instead, or assault rifles, because, you know, assault rifles are good for everything. Apparently it has incredible accuracy and tactical stance, just in time for when they sort of half remove tactical stance from Black Ops 6. But yeah, it feels really strange. It's got a high fire rate. It's apparently very good in tactical stance. And then other than that, I'm not really sure what the point of it is. Again, I'm not sure if LMGs are maybe the weapon category that people go to the most. You know, obviously there's been a couple like the Bruin that have been meta for a while, but generally they're not that great. Generally they're not as good as SMGs or assault rifles because they're not as fast, they take time to reload and all of that stuff. So yeah, I don't think these two guns are going to end up troubling the meta anytime soon. I think you're going to be using the static and the STG for a little bit longer yet to come, but who knows, I could be wrong. There's some new aftermarket parts, the Jack Salvo, which is a sniper modification for the Cat that fires rockets, which sounds crazy. I'm kind of hoping it's ridiculously overpowered because I think it'd be funny to see people firing tiny little fast rockets at each other. Maybe that'd be fun. The Jack Volt Storm, which changes the Storm Ender, so now it fires a lethal bolt that can hit multiple targets. I'm guessing it means targets in a row, but it'd be kind of interesting if it did like a chain electric thing, like you hit one person and then it hits people around them. That'd be kind of interesting. I'm guessing it'll just be a collateral thing. And then the Jack Lance, which is a thing for the Guardian that fires 3 ballistic rivets, where you apparently build up pressure when the weapon's idle, and then when it's fully charged up, you can fire it and your velocity and precision are vastly improved apparently, so that's the idea. And then there's some skins and things. There's Mike Myers, who I feel like we've had as a skin before in Call of Duty, because wasn't there like a whole Mike Myers mode in like Infinite Warfare or something like that? But anyway, that's coming back apparently. And then there's some other people. There's a really freaky version of Ghost that has 3 heads. I do wonder if you'll be able to get headshots by shooting the other heads. If not, that could be kind of confusing. And then there's Daryl Dixon from The Walking Dead. You know, not the most topical of things. You know, can't imagine there's that many people being like, oh, this is the perfect time for a Daryl Dixon skin. But, you know, I know some people love that character, so it's fine. There's someone called the Terrifier. I'm not sure if they're from a film or a TV show. I don't know. There's some generic Halloween things. And then there's also some from that Smile 2 film that I saw the trailer for that in a cinema the other day and then was like, I didn't know there was a Smile 1. So apparently that's a thing that they've obviously maybe paid Call of Duty some money to advertise the film in a game. I don't really know what happened. And then there's some other bundles, one of which looks like when Nicolas Cage is being attacked by bees in The Wicker Man, which is kind of interesting. But anyway, that's it. So, not the best season. I'm kind of excited to try out this Purgatory mode. That does sound like a weird thing, and I'm all up for trying weird things. I'm not sure if it'll be something that we'll play more than once, but we'll see. But everything else about this update just feels a bit like they're just spinning their wheels and throwing out all the stuff they had left over, including apparently 5 variants of Shipment, or 6 if you include the one that's coming to Rebirth Island, that is a drivable variant of Shipment. Sounds super weird. Anyway, let me know what you think about this update in the comments below, and I'll see you for the next one. Goodbye.